afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Ahmed Kovacievic, and I will talk about EGPI. EGPI is a course for final year students in School of Engineering Mathematical Sciences. We have recently changed. We are now School of Engineering, Computer Science and Mathematics. So that's fantastic. And one of the things which is really fascinating in there is that in engineering and in informatics we are sort of running the similar courses in parallel, and we are not collaborating very much, and that's one of the things which so I'll talk about that a little bit and give you case studies, and then I'll talk about special interest groups in design education, which I'm chairing for Design Society, and the conference on engineering and product design which we run. This is EGPI. It is a project for undergraduate students organized by 5 universities across Europe. And we are doing that through video conferencing. We always work around the company and design something for that company. So in this, there are 14 projects in here. We designed many different things, and I'll show you later what it is. What are we trying to address by this? I will show you about this later. This will pop. And what are we trying to address is actually what came into a Henley report for our Academy of Engineering in 2006, and this is what actually universities are supposed to do for engineering students, for these students to become engineers of 21st century. And these are the 3 things that they have suggested at that time for engineering students to be, need to be developed. So engineers need to be specialists in the area. They have to be integrators. So basically, they need to be able to work over any sort of boundaries, whether is it engineering, non-engineering, cultural, language, or any other distance time barriers or anything like that. And the third role is creativity, innovation, and leadership. So they need to be creators, innovators, and leaders in that area. So what we were trying actually to do with this course is to address that in a holistic way. So we kind of defined this holistic way of teaching in actually of 5 competencies that they need to have. So it is knowledge and skills which they normally get through the university, accompanied by experience of doing something, attitude towards engineering, and capability of actually doing all these things over boundary and et cetera, et cetera. And that's how we kind of group that. So one of the last slides will be what students' reflection on this, how actually we what they felt they are achieving by doing this. And we grouped that. So there were 5 universities, 6 universities here. Now we have 5. London, TU Delft, Lausanne, Budapest, the University of Economy and Technology, Ljubljana and Zagreb universities. Both are now EU countries. At the time when we started, they were not in a well, always in Europe, but not in a EU as such. And what is interesting that there are really different sort of competencies. Some are industrial designers, some are product designers. We had even social science students. Most of them, as you can see here, is engineering, but different perspectives in engineering, different aspects of engineering. But we even had social sciences, law students, and something like that involved in this. And this is how it works. We form academic virtual enterprise every year around the core company with universities around and supporting companies and specialists. And then we use network-based video conferencing to actually do 2 things. One is to prepare students for real life, and another thing is to propose industrial partners, because it's important for us to have that flow of money coming in so that we can sustain the project. And there are 4 things which we do around this. So from basically operational research through creating, so learning, creating, and then generating some IP and perhaps prototyping. So I will show you the program. This is a typical environment. So this is video conferencing. We would have lectures from one site and all students involved in these lectures from all other sites, and these lectures will go around. Another activity is collaboration, because it is a project-based. Students are supposed to design things for that company. So they will have, usually there will be 4 or 5 international teams, couple of students from each university in a team, and they will need to operate like through the boundary. So these are typical team meetings which we have in here. And we run that since 2002, basically. And we run that through the phases. Each of these phases is what you call today diamond thing. So they are all basically analysis and synthesis sort of activities that you go through. So the first project is definition phase, understanding the project, and because students come fresh and projects are, very different, so they need to go through this defining the project. Then the second phase is conceptual phase, the realization phase, and the prototyping phase at the end. So the project finishes with the final workshop. I'm not asking you to read this. What I put in here, project usually lasts for 4 months, and through these 4 project reviews that we have. But in between these project reviews, we will have activities like lectures, as well as so lectures come. I'll just read for you some of these things. Creativity in design, the nature of innovation, an engineering guide to intellectual property, economy and cost in design. So cost things. So it is interdisciplinary, and as we go towards these red things, our project reviews, as we go toward the end of the project, lectures are actually, we don't have any more lectures. We are actually giving the students a chance to work, and then in a final workshop they will actually assemble everything. This is the history of eGPR. It started in 2000 with the University of Michigan and Columbia and TU Delft, and then it evolved at different stages. Different universities got into the project. So it's been running for a long time now, and these are again things that we have designed. So reduced noise of vacuum cleaner, welding masks with active vision systems, so cameras and visions inside, breathing systems for welders. For Avidor in Switzerland, it was a spraying systems for Swiss vineyards, transport systems for multi-story buildings, point of purchase displays for Boss for male grooming products, Eco House, post-operative treatment of orthopedic patients, handheld mixers for men, biking schemes in Budapest, parcel systems, and this one in last year was a fuselage of an airplane to be flown by disabled people. So as you can see, every year different challenge, different project, and for us academics as well as for students, a big challenge to actually understand the project and get into it. Again, I mean, I will just run through then some of the products, for example, in Switzerland in 2005. This 2007 was here at City University, so point of purchase displays for Boss male grooming product. This was actually an idea the students had from a sushi bar with a conveyor belt, so putting the products on a conveyor belt and interactive systems for actually learning about product. Eco House, well, the company sold 130 of these eco houses in Mediterranean area a couple of years after we were working on this. This was an interesting project. This was for Utrecht Medical Center in Utrecht in the Netherlands. We were working on post-operative treatment for orthopedic patients, and some of the groups, we had 5 groups, but one of the groups used V-technology to actually monitor exercises of the students and develop the whole communication system between that V system and the consultants, so that consultant could control, could have a look into what the patient is doing. That was the cycling scheme in Budapest. We had in between several other projects, parasols, very interesting sort of natural. Students always enjoy that. And this is the last year. This was the plane. Actually, what we did, the project was in Hull. It was organized by City University. The project was in Hull, where the company Condor Project was based, and we transported. It was a fuselage with a shell around it. It was 13 meters long fuselage, and we exhibited it in here. Interesting projects. Now, this is what students said. You see, there are these 5 skills which we are trying to develop holistically in there. And they didn't expect that, for example, the project itself will do anything much in terms of experience, attitude, or capability. They were expecting more knowledge and skills, but actually they told us that they've learned more, that they actually get better experiences on this stuff. What they have found in particular difficult is shown in here. We always thought that cultural backgrounds, that difference in a language, is a problem. But most of the students said that this is not a problem at all. Just few students said that this is one of the problems. The biggest problem that they had is what you mentioned before, ensuring that they're actually in a room when it is a virtual room, and knowing here that, or believing, trusting your colleague at a different site, so that you understand and trust him that he works or she works in there. And this was a big problem for them, along with the attitude. So language not so much, creativity not so much, design methodology, they said yes. So that was interesting kind of finding, and we would very much like to kind of navigate together through Michael and this somehow in the same direction. So that's the first part of my story. I'm 15 minutes, isn't it? And the second part of the story is about engineering and product design educational conference. So this is the conference that is running on from 2000, from the year 2000. In year 1999, Institution of Engineering Designers and Design Society ran separate product design conference and engineering design conference until 99. In 99, they held it together in Glasgow, but from 2000 integrated it into the conference on engineering product design education. It is a conference which is always organized between these 2 institutions on behalf of Design Society. Is this special interest group in design education, which my colleague Eric Bohemia and myself are leading. Eric organized a conference in Northumbria in 2007. I organized one as a host university here at City University in 2011. And since then, we went to Antwerp, Dublin, this year at Twente University, and next year we will be at Loughborough University. That's how I knew that this room is. I've just seen that room at Loughborough University. it is, we are not encouraging architectural students, for example, to get into that, because engineering and product design is not very much architectural design, but all others are involved. I don't think that we have a lot of arts, to be honest, in this area. But what we think is that perhaps there is a possibility to get more. So I just wanted to make you aware of this, and yeah, I would like to stop with that.